Love the stuff. It's absolutely spot on, as they say in the UK. Hi there, welcome to the channel. My name is Maria. I have been wanting to make this dish for a long while on this YouTube channel, and today it's going to be the day. Today I'm making some codfish and cream. I know codfish cream, it's a casserole. It's absolutely spot on, as they say in the UK. Love the stuff. If you're not a fish eater, well, you know, it probably not for you, but believe me, your guests will absolutely love it. I have some company coming this afternoon, so I'm gonna whip it up. Doesn't take long. Let's get in that kitchen and let's get busy. Here are the ingredients that we'll need to make our delicious cod and cream casserole. We need some onions, mozzarella, garlic, potatoes, milk, cream, nutmeg, salt, olive oil, some cracked pepper, and of course, Mr. Bacalhau himself, codfish. Now I bought a 800 gram package of codfish. It's portions, they call it. And I will be removing the bones, and it's ready to be cooked. It's gonna have about a 6 to 7 minute boil, and very straightforward. We're going to get started with the potatoes. We're going to peel them and cube them small bite size, and I'll show you how I mean. We'll then do the onions. I'll take probably only 2 onions and the garlic. I'm going to probably just a combination of sliced and chopped onions. It's going to be sauteed along with the garlic and the seasonings. So let's get started. With the potatoes and the onions, I could actually have them both cooking at the same time. It's very little babysitting you have to do. So I'm gonna start with the onions. I'm gonna use 2 onions today. And for the garlic, I love garlic, so we'll probably end up placing about, let's see, 4, lots of garlic. The more garlic in my dish, the better. I love garlic. All right, so I've got 6 cloves of garlic. 7, sorry. We'll use 7 cloves of garlic for this dish. And the 2 onions. So for the onions, you could either slice it thin. I may not slice it thin because the guest that's coming over is, well, let's just say they have a problem with their teeth chewing. So although the onions will be sauteed and soft to the bite, I just rather know that my guest will be eating it and it'll just be melting in his mouth. Everyone else is fine. Just loosen them up. It won't take long to saute. 2 onions. I've got the onions all cut up. That's 2 onions. That should be enough. And we're gonna go ahead and peel our potatoes. These beautiful potatoes that were given to us by our friends. They grow them in their own vegetable patch. They're like gold to my husband. He absolutely loves them. I do too. They're just gorgeous potatoes. Couldn't imagine finding these at the grocery store. So with the potato, I'm just going to quickly show you. Sorry, my eyes are watering from those onions. Whew. Those are just regular cooking onions. Doesn't matter what kind of onions you use for this dish. All right. So I'll just quickly show you and then I'll continue with potatoes. Let me just give this a rinse. All right. I don't like any of the little spots. Okay. Oops. So for the potatoes, the goal here is to cube them into small bite size. So I'm going to quarter them first. And then we want to make sure that they fry evenly. We don't want them overcooked, just light golden brown, okay? So about that size there. Place our potatoes in there. So I went ahead and peeled and cut 2 large, very large potatoes, and that's what we want to see. I've rinsed them and I'm patting them dry, because the last thing you need is when you dip these into hot oil, and if you don't dry them off, what will happen is you get the big splash, which could be dangerous. So note to self, make sure you dry them off. So that's 2 large potatoes. And you know what? I was looking at my onions and I thought, 2 onions, that might not be enough. I think I'm going to do the last. There'll be 3 onions into this, to the dish. So we're going to get the oil heated. Just cutting these down a little bit more. Some of them are a bit bigger than they should be. These won't take long to fry, and we just want a light golden fry. We don't want them deep fried, like too dark. All right. So these are ready for the fryer, and I'm going to go ahead and cut 1 more onion for sauteing. I'm going to go ahead, I'm not doing anything with my garlic actually, because I'm going to use my press, my garlic press, my wonderful garlic press that I talk about all the time. And why is it so wonderful? Because I don't need to peel skins off. Garlic will be the last thing I'll add to the dish. All right, let's go and get this cooked up. So in this pot, I have gone ahead and put my 800 grams of my codfish. I'm going to boil it for probably 6 to 8 minutes. And once it's boiled, all I got to do is just remove the skins, and I'm going to do my very best to remove the bones. Very important that we try to get all the bones. The package of the codfish looks amazing, so it looks like I might just have 1 big bone to remove. And so we're going to go ahead and get that to a boil. And again, I'm going to be doing this on my outdoor kitchen because it does stinky a bit. All right, we're heading out to the kitchen out here where I prepare, you know, deep fried fish and all that smelly type of food. Now I have my codfish boiling away. Just be careful. I had a lid on it and it just made such a mess. I was just cleaning up all around. Do not cover your pot with the cod. Just uncovered and let it boil. I've got my small pot with about 1.5 inches of clean vegetable oil, which I'm going to use to cook up our square potatoes. We're just wanting to give them a light brown crisp to them. And of course, I've got my onions all ready to go, and I'll get those on the burner soon enough. Once everything's completely cooked, it would just be a matter of me getting the bones out of the fish. I'm going to flake the fish into a casserole dish, and we're going to combine everything, and I'll show you just as soon as I've got this part all cooked up. I'll see you in a bit. We got a whole lot of stuff happening here. We've got my first round of cubed potatoes frying away. I've got the onions sauteing in the back there, and my codfish is completely cooked. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to strain it, and I'm going to let it cool down before I take the bones out. All right, so I've got strainer here. Get our our codfish, bacalhau. There we go. I'm going to let it strain into the pot. Whew. And let it cool down, and then I will debone it and shred. See what's happening here? We've got our onions sauteing away. I just put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and that's it. I moved it to the front burner because it's a larger burner. And I've got my first round of potatoes cooking away in the oil. And once they're lightly brown, I'll remove them and I'll put them on top of some paper towel just to drain off the oil, and then put the last round of potatoes. By that time, my onions should be all sauteed, lightly browned, and then we'll be ready to assemble this casserole. So stay tuned. It's a delicious dish and you're not going to want to miss. So the onions are pretty much sauteed at this point. My fries, or should I say my cubed potato chunks, are just about ready. First batch anyway. When they float to the top, then you know they're ready. So I'm going to go ahead and press 6 cloves of garlic into our cooked onion. You see how that works? This is just the best garlic press ever. So that's it for the garlic. Stir that in there. Turn on the heat again, just for about a couple of minutes, just to soften the garlic. Now in this outdoor kitchen, there's no fan, so this chimney is connected to the fire chimney, the wood-fired oven, the barbecue opening next to this cooking area, so it's quite convenient. When they built this house, the gentleman who built the house actually built it custom for his daughter, and unfortunately she didn't move in. She had other plans in her life, took her away to another country, and so he had it built, and it was empty for almost 10 years until my husband and I found it and said, you know what, let's make a deal. And 4 years later, here we are. My codfish is cooling down. I'm gonna get ready for the next round of potatoes. So this is ready. So I got my bowl here with paper towel. They're cooked, definitely cooked throughout. I'm gonna put the second batch in shortly. If you have a deep fryer, it's probably much easier and safer than what I'm doing here. I'm gonna add our second batch of potatoes. So that's probably that'll take about 8 to 10 minutes. So there's the codfish. All we're going to do here, you take your knife or your fork. The goal is just to remove the bone, the big bone, and then any other little bones that you'll find. I find that by using a fork, it's easier. I don't want to flake it too much. I like to have some chunks, but you have to feel it for the bones, because the last thing you want is biting into a bone. The skin's easy enough to take off. I find the bones that are on the side, not so much the spine bone, but there's some bones on the side of this fish that could sometimes be missed. See what I'm doing here? Just gently. It's a very delicate fish, but it's so delicious, trust me. There's apparently over 1,000 ways to prepare codfish as per the Portuguese chefs. And I probably only know about 4 of those. And I'm okay with that. So I'm going to feel for bones. It seems okay. it's not a pleasant thing to do, but you got to use your fingers when you're in the kitchen. So I'm going to finish getting all this done. I'll bring it back when I'm ready for plating. Or not plating, but putting it together, the casserole. So we have our French fry, or I keep calling it French fries, our cubed potato all cooked. Not too crisp, but a little bit of a crisp, but not like you would normally cook a French fry. And I'm just putting it in this dish so that I could sprinkle some salt. Not too much. Okay. Now this is what I got out of 800 grams of codfish after I deboned them and flaked them. It looks like a lot, but to be honest, it's probably a cup and a little bit. It's not much. It's not a dish that we eat all the time. Now that cod is already salted, but because we're using cream and the onions, it becomes very sweet. So you have to salt it. Fries. In this bowl, I'm gonna put 2 containers of cream. I usually do 1 container of cream and a cup of bechamel, but I'm not making bechamel today. So just double up on the cream. To the cream, I like to add a little bit of garlic powder. I'm gonna say about 1/4 teaspoon. And about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now that is a piece of potato skin. Don't know where that came from. We're gonna give this a swirl. Yeah, I can barely taste the salt or the garlic, but that's okay. And then we're gonna add nutmeg. And I'm gonna say we're gonna do about, I wish I had fresh nutmeg, but I don't. That's probably not quite a teaspoon. Your onions. Some garlic in there. Give it a swirl. Put your cod in there. The cheese, excuse me, the cheese will be the last thing I put. And I'm going to put the cheese on top of the dish before it goes into the oven. I'm going to cover it and I'm going to bake it at 350 for about half an hour. Then I'll remove the tin foil from the top and let the cheese brown. Now, when you're stirring this, please don't over stir. We don't want to break the fish any smaller than it already is. So you can put the potatoes in the bowl and stir it, and then, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'll be adding some fresh cracked pepper. I've got the milk, about 3/4 of a cup of milk, and the reason why I have the milk, I'm going to use about half of that. Because I'm using cream instead of bechamel. Bechamel will make it thicker. Let's see how it looks first. Stir it together very gently, just so you get all the potato mixed with the fish and the onions. I think I might get my square. The square will be better. I don't want it drying out too much. Look, I just found a big bone. Oh well. This is the stoneware. Stoneware, I find, at least in my oven, it takes a little bit longer to bake, but that's okay. All that's missing here is my mozzarella, which I have to go and get. I won't have enough in the fridge, so I have to go and buy another chunk of mozzarella. So what we'll do here is once our mozzarella is finally grated, you throw that on top. Make sure you're generous. We're going to cover it with tin foil. So we have the oven preheating at 350 degrees. While that oven is preheating, I got to get Alan rushed to the store. It'll only take about 15 minutes. Grab some mozzarella because the mozzarella I have, I don't think it's going to be enough, and I want to make sure we have a nice cheesy topping. We're going to shred the cheese, put that on top of the casserole. We're going to do a foil tent over the casserole dish. We're going to bake it at 350 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes. About 5 minutes, we're going to remove the tin foil so we have the cheese nice and bubbly and brown a bit. And you serve it hot. You don't have to let it sit. You just go ahead and serve it hot. With that, I have, with the dish, I'll have some broccoli for the side, and that's it. Glass of wine, and we're good to go. So let's wait for the plating. Show you how it looks. Okay, so here's my casserole dish. I just put sliced mozzarella on. I couldn't find a big chunk of mozzarella at the store, so I just put the sliced mozzarella. It's gonna go in an oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's gonna cook for about between 30 and 40 minutes. Every oven's different, so just be careful. We're gonna cover it with tin foil, so we don't want it to cook too fast and burn the top. And in case I forgot to mention, that milk was placed over on top. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. You have to try that delicious recipe, cod and cream. It's really, really, really good. Anyone who is a seafood lover, you'll enjoy that. There's so many ways of making that particular dish. That one is very straightforward, simple. The only thing that I was missing in that one was the bechamel. But I would tell you to include the bechamel sauce because it makes a difference with the texture. It was delicious, and I hope you will find some time in the future to try it out, follow the recipe, and let me know what you think. Take care, and thanks for watching.